Well, for the first time, the U.S. government has publicly confirmed the use of drone strikes in Pakistan in detail. Now, a top aide to President Barack Obama has defended the targeted killings in other countries as legal, ethical, and proportional.
Yes, in full accordance with the law, and in order to prevent terrorist attacks on the United States and to save American lives, the United States government conducts targeted strikes against specific al-Qaeda terrorists, sometimes using remotely piloted aircraft, often referred to publicly as drones.
Brennan said the U.S. Constitution allows the president to protect the nation from any imminent threat or attack, and that the use of drones is needed to save American lives. Brennan's remarks were interrupted when a member of the anti-war group Code Pink criticized America's use of drone strikes.
Why are you lying to the American people and not saying how many innocents have been killed? I speak
Thank you, ma'am, for expressing your views. There will be time for questions and answers after the presentation.
In Pakistan, who is killed because he wanted to document the drone strikes. I speak out on behalf of Abdul Rahman al-Awaki, 16-year-old born in Denver, killed in Yemen, just because his father was someone we don't like. I speak out on behalf of the Constitution, on behalf of the rule of law. I love the rule of law. I love my country. You are making us less safe by killing so many innocent people.
Washington claims its campaign of drone strikes targets militants, but official reports show the civilians are the main victims of the attacks. Islamabad has repeatedly called for a halt to such strikes and condemned them as a violation of Pakistan's sovereignty. We're going to switch over to Sacramento, California, joined by the Executive Director of If Americans Knew, Ms. Alison Weir. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell me your overall take on the comments now that has been officially made now by the U.S. government that basically the U.S. Constitution allows the president supposedly to protect Americans in this way.
Well, of course, one of the main points is this is not protecting Americans. This is making Americans less safe and less secure. We consistently see U.S. politicians of both parties taking actions that are making Americans less safe. They're actions that not only violate the U.S. Constitution, this is not a declared war, which is required by Congress under our Constitution. Also, it violates international laws that the U.S. is a signatory to. It violates the UN Charter. I think it's clause number 24. It's in violation of that. It violates basic concepts of justice. These are what are called extrajudicial killings or assassinations. There's been no rule of law. Nobody's seeing the evidence on which these people are being killed. Plus, hundreds at least of civilians are being killed in these drone strikes. Children are being killed. A 15-year-old had 2 legs blown off and lost an eye. This is terrorizing an entire population in northern Pakistan. It is a violation of Pakistani sovereignty. Americans would be outraged if any country were violating our sovereignty, if they were bombarding our cities with drones. This is a really indefensible policy. But I think that the reason that President Obama is now openly declaring it, even though it's been going on it began with Bush, is he's targeting the right wing who thinks that he's not, quote, tough enough on terrorism. And so he's making a statement to prove to them that, yes, he is indeed even tougher. He's killing more people than George Bush did.
Well, how frightening is that, Ms. Weir, that in order, at least if this is what the psyche is saying to the Democrats, in order to to continue to be president, that they have to show that they are tough, even to the point of saying that they support killing people. What about other parts of the world with this type of mentality? I mean, how safe is the world in general with this type of mentality being something that I guess in some circles in the United States is being applauded.
This is, of course, making the world less safe. When we're setting a precedent that it is all right to go around killing people, we're not at war with Pakistan. Nobody even claims that we are at war with Pakistan. George Bush didn't say that. Barack Obama doesn't say that. Even the conservative Republican hawks are not saying that. And yet we are attacking Pakistanis. We are killing hundreds of them, probably actually in the neighborhood of thousands. The numbers aren't even clear. This is a precedent that it endangers everybody, because it means if somebody does that to Americans, well, then they can say, this is what the U.S. did. It's now considered normal policy. If it's done against some country in Europe or somebody in Asia, this is, quote, normal policy. The precedent has been set by the United States. I'd like to go on record that Americans, the majority of Americans, I doubt would agree with this precedent if they were well informed about what's going on, why it's going on, and that we are indeed in some danger, but it is from the policies that our politicians are making. That's the root cause of our danger. And drone strikes against sovereign nations are making us less safe, not more safe.
Thank you so much for being with us, Executive Director, If Americans Knew, Alison Weir from Sacramento, California.